The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good morning. This is Andrew Zimmerman here from the National Weather Service in Wakefield. We've got some more quiet weather going on today with high pressure over the Great Lakes building into the mid-Atlantic region. Still a little bit of cooler, drier air filtering down from the north along the coast, so it remains breezy over the water, but generally pleasant conditions over land, and that really looks to continue today into tonight as that area of high pressure builds into our region. Kind of looking at our overview here, some of the highlights we're expecting over through the weekend and into next week. With that high pressure building in, does look like some areas could see some patchy frost, particularly over the Piedmont, west and northwest of Richmond, late tonight into early tomorrow morning. We are going to look at that area of high pressure move offshore over the weekend, so we'll have some increasing southerly flow that could bring some nuisance to minor tidal flooding. And then on the marine side, like I mentioned, we still have the ongoing small craft advisory conditions into Friday with that breezy north wind continuing with the cooler, drier air coming over the water. There you can kind of see the high area high pressure builds in by Friday, and then by Saturday it moves offshore, and then a little farther offshore Sunday as this cold front approaches from the west. We'll see a southerly wind, south to southwest wind picking up ahead of this cold front, along with potentially some showers as well, especially Sunday evening, Sunday night. And then it looks like that cold front moves offshore by early next week with another area of high pressure building in behind that front. Here's the main area. We're looking at some limited frost potential late tonight, early tomorrow morning. You can see here, looking at some of the hourly temperatures for areas across the eastern Virginia Piedmont. We see some temperatures potentially down to the mid-30s as we get late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And then like some few outlying areas, favored cold spots could see some lows kind of drop down a little closer to 32, and then with some frost, could be some patchy frost then on very, very much protected areas. Looking at rainfall, obviously with a high over the region, not expecting any rain. Once we see that cold front come through later Sunday night, could see some showers with that. Generally, at this point, it's not looking like heavy rain of any sort. Generally, 1/10 to maybe locally 1/4 of an inch, based on the latest data. There you can kind of see general trend of temperatures warming up this weekend as that high moves offshore, and then cooling back down early next week behind that cold front. With that cold front Sunday, does look like we get breezy out ahead of it. Does look like we could see some wind gusts to at least, pretty high probability of some wind gusts to up to 35 miles per hour Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening as that front moves through. Very small potential of thunderstorms. It looks like it's mainly showers with the front, but any showers could maybe produce a little bit of locally stronger wind gusts. So expect some gusty showers with that cold front. Tropical activity looks like fairly quiet over the next 7 days here. We remain, as we're kind of starting to get into the tail end of tropical season now. It does look like it's, at least for the next week, fairly quiet. Looking ahead to the end of October, generally looking at near normal temperatures, near normal precipitation for the longer range outlook. Not really expecting much in the way of tidal flooding today, tomorrow, other than maybe in some of these tidal marsh areas of southeast Maryland, kind of southern Dorchester County, Maryland. But then as we get into the weekend, we see that south to southwest wind pick up. Could see some more nuisance to minor tidal flooding areas of the middle upper Chesapeake Bay, southern shore of the tidal Potomac, maybe locally a little higher for that, again, that more sensitive area of southern Dorchester County, but overall in general, nuisance to minor tidal flooding. As you can see there in the hydrographs, you can see there at Bishop's Head, which is in that area of southern Dorchester County, kind of getting toward the higher end of minor, but most other sites just kind of nuisance to borderline minor. Looking at the marine overview here, generally looking at small craft conditions as we move through the rest of the day and really through the weekend. We will see kind of as that high builds overhead, we will see a lull later Friday into early Saturday before we see that southerly wind pickup, bringing potential more small craft conditions as we get into Sunday, and then potentially behind the cold front as well early next week. Generally, our peak wind gusts looking up to be around 30 knots over the water. And then seas generally 5 to 7 feet. Could see some 3 to locally 5 foot waves in the Chesapeake Bay in the area when we have the strongest wind ongoing. So that really kind of covers a lot of what we're looking at here through the weekend and into early next week. We'll be, as long as nothing significant changes, we'll be back for our next live briefing on Monday. We will continue to update our briefings via the web, and then the next scheduled email briefing would be Monday. So with that, I will move on to any questions that anyone may have.